We are here on a Monday. That's it. It's not a great Monday. It's just a Monday, but it is the last Monday before our fall break. Okay, thank goodness we get a week of fall break. Don't forget, if you hadn't done so, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. This is our last day of instruction for our in-class audience that for our test on Wednesday. All right, so here's the deal. Like I said previously, and everybody was listening. We're just going to set these up. We're not going to solve them. The reason we're not going to solve them is because you've already solved systems earlier in the test. Okay. I don't want to punish you that much, and I don't want to answer that many questions on test day. All right. So I kind of had this already set up so it could help us, maybe. The sum of two numbers is 30. Their difference is 12. Okay. So very easily we could say, okay, X is the first number. We don't know what that number is. We just say X is the first number. All right. Then we could say Y is the second number. It's just two numbers. You can name them Bob and Dave for all I care. Okay. You just have to make sure you know what your variables equal. All right. Sum, remember, sum is adding. So if we add them together, we get this. Difference is subtract. Now, some of these is kind of, these first few are more simplistic. I'm not going to say easier. I'm going to say simplistic. There's less words, which I would like to hear from some people's mouths is less words. Okay. All right. So now reading this, the difference between two numbers is 9. The first number plus twice the other is 27. Okay, that's where it got a little crazy. So let's say first is our X, second is our Y. Okay, first number, second number. Okay. Rip, rip, rip. All right. The difference. Okay, this one's easy. This is like X minus Y equals 9. Because look, the difference, it's literally this right here goes right here. Okay. The first number, X, plus twice the second number is 27. Now, again, we have ways we could solve these. We're actually going to go, that's the second half of today's lesson is picking the best method. Okay. Some people already did that last week. They're just high speed. We're not going to name names, snacks, but but that's, it's all right. Now, as far as word problems go for this stuff, I love these first two. Reason why, there's less words. If you're like me, the more words there are, the easier it is to get confused, right? Okay. Has anybody ever heard somebody, they have all these directions and you're like, can I just, has anybody ever stopped somebody and like, can I just have like the bullet points? Like just the short version? Yeah, that's me. I'm like this. Okay. I love bullet points. So now, so think about it. If on our notes, all we are doing is setting these up and not solving them, what are you going to be required to do on the test? Just set them up. Okay, just set them up. Because honestly, that is the hardest part of any word problem is knowing how to set it up. Okay. Ooh, a little bit more words this time. Okay. All right. The cost of 3 boxes of envelopes and 4 boxes of notebooks is this. All right, let's just stop right there. This right here. All right. In this one sentence, we can actually get our X, our Y, and our first equation. Okay. Now, they're both boxes, so we need to use words like envelopes and paper. Okay. What do y'all want X to equal? It doesn't matter. We got 2. Envelopes. Okay. Awesome for the 5 people that are actually talking about math and not who knows what else. Y would be the paper then. All right. So we got our variables defined. Okay. We know that X is envelopes because when you solve it, now you need to know what X means and what Y means. Okay. All right. 3 boxes of envelopes, so that would be 3X, and 4 boxes of paper plus 4Y is this right here. So in that first sentence, we may have to read that first sentence 6 times. I know it looks like, or it sounds like I just read that once. I actually read that 3 times. Okay, personally. That's how we got all this other stuff. 2 boxes of envelopes and 6 boxes of paper is this. Okay. Now, of the 3 that we've seen so far, this one, to set it up, is actually, it's face value, guys. You don't have to do anything in particular. It says 3 of this, 4 of this. We just define that X stands for envelopes and Y is the paper. All right. Number 4. Look at the first sentence first. We can get lots of information off the first sentence. The cost of 12 oranges and 7 apples is $5.36. Okay. Now, what do you want X to be? Oranges. That means Y are. How do you like those apples? Never mind. It's from an old movie. I had to say that now. All what I think is common knowledge is like old movie references now. Good Will Hunting. All right. So we have 12 of our oranges and 7 of our apples equals this right here. So we've got the first equation. We've got what our X and Y is. Okay. All right. The second equation, 12, well, not 12, 8 oranges, so that would be 8X, and 5 apples is this. Okay. Now, for some of y'all are like, does this get harder? Yeah. If if we were to actually solving these, that's where the harder steps would come in. Okay. I want the fact of setting them up easier. Okay. Now, outside of school, do y'all have any ways that you could actually solve these problems easily? Photomath, Wolfram Alpha, you could graph it on Desmos, anything. I mean, why not? You're just looking for the answer. They don't care how you got there. That's a lot of real world stuff. They want something fixed. They want something done. They don't care how you did it. Okay. All right. Are we good with 3 and 4? Anybody need some more time? I see a few people writing down. It might be math, might be something else. All right. Ooh. The town recreation department ordered 100 pieces of equipment, baseball and bats, for the summer baseball camp. Baseballs cost this, bats cost this. The total purchases was this. How many baseballs and bats were ordered? That's a lot of words. Okay. Now, first thing we can do is try to make this easier. X and Y. So we'll say baseballs. And then we'll say bats. Okay. Now, the first in the past, this problem right here, the first equation has eluded tons of people. They can get the second equation because they do this. Okay, so 450x plus 20y equals 822. Okay, that's the easy part. Okay, that kind of goes along with the other ones that we've seen. The actual first one, or what you would say first, is as we read it, a lot of people have not got. Okay, but think about it this way: how many pieces of equipment did we order? 100. And what is that equipment? Okay, just because it says equation 1, equation 2, you don't have to set it up like as it's written. You could have done something different, but the x plus y equals 100, which seems the easiest part now, has actually got people. We've had this on a test before and people have not gotten that. Crazy. Okay. All right. Not so bad when you're just setting them up, right? Now, of 3, 4, and 5, number 5 is actually the one I would want to solve first because I can either eliminate or substitute something a little bit easier. Some of that other stuff, ooh, it's like a bad date. Looks bad at first and just keeps getting worse. All right. Good with number 5. Yay. Okay. On the back, choosing the best method. Okay. Usually you would choose graphing if both equations are in y equals mx plus b. Substitution, one equation has a variable on or can easily be solved for one. All right. Let me kind of explain this. These two can kind of go hand in hand. Because if you have y, we're going to look at number 6. Number 6 is a good indicator. Okay. Elimination, same terms, different signs, or can multiply one equation and get rid of it. Look, it's saying, what do you think is the best method? It's going to be blatantly obvious which one to use. Okay. Now, number 6, what do we have? They are both in, okay, what she said. Now, some people, they would say, but wait, couldn't you do substitution and set them equal to each other? The answer is yes. You could actually do both. Okay. But because we actually had some people, they were supposed to, that's why I didn't really get mad when you did that the other day, because no, it was right. I'm glad you saw that pattern. You saw something organically. I didn't have to try to show you this is what you do. Okay. I love it. I'm just picking on you because it's fun. Okay. All right. Number 7. What can we do? What would be the easiest to do? I heard it somewhere, substitution, because we have a variable by itself. Okay. Look, do this. Instead of says state the best method, mark out best, right? Easiest. Okay. Because that's what it is. We're finding the easiest way to solve these, which is going to require the less work to solve it. And using Photomath, Wolfram Alpha, or getting the answer from your neighbor is not a choice on this, because we still have to abide by some type of rules in school. All right. All right. Number 8, which is going to be the easiest method. I heard 2 different answers. And it would be elimination because of this. Right there. Same terms, different signs. That X will go away. Okay. Look back up at your notes. Elimination, same terms, different signs. That's the first thing you go with. All right. Number 9. Just looking at it. Okay. Okay. Shh. Because we can multiply this top one by a positive 4. Oh, oh, that coffee was a little too strong this morning. Starting to smell colors. All right. We could easily do that. I also would have taken another option. Yeah, substitution, because we could easily take this top one and solve for x. Okay. But first glance, a lot of people would say elimination. Listen, the ones on the test are going to be like number 6, 7, and 8. Okay. It's not going to be like, this, what is the answer? But it could be, it's kind of, okay, I don't think your English teachers do it now, but we used to have to read something and write what we thought it meant. And every time I would write what I thought it meant, it looked like my English teacher sacrificed a cat over the top of my paper. There was so much red ink. And she was like, "Oh no, you're totally wrong." I'm like, "How am I wrong? You said to that's how I interpret it." Like, "Well, you're wrong." That's why I became a math teacher, because there's usually just one answer. All right, number 10. Look at it a little bit. It could be substitution or elimination. I would actually go with elimination first, because I can multiply the bottom by -5 to make the x's disappear, or the top by -2. Okay, remember, 6, 7, and 8 are going to be like the ones on the test. This other stuff, look, this is like an ACT type problem right here, or a pre-ACT type problem. Notice I said pre-ACT type problem because guess what? Y'all have pre-ACT coming up in a couple weeks. And I know everybody's going to, like, during fall break, you're not going to relax or anything or play video games or sleep. You're going to do math all day, every day. Yeah. Bless you. All right. Number 11, blatantly obvious. Which method? Graph. Yeah, it almost looks like we're going by these notes right here. Crazy. Now, I did hear someone say elimination. Believe it or not, there is a way to solve this by elimination. You can actually use every method on these. Okay? And you would get the same answer, because if we were to multiply this one by -1, the y's cancel, the x's cancel, and we get -1, and the answer is no solution. We could graph it. It's still going to be no solution because they have the same slope. All right. Number 12, blatantly obvious. Substitution, very good. Because we have a variable by itself. All right, think about it. Y'all know how most people your age love to state out the obvious. Okay. Like, Mr. Jeffries, your handwriting's bad. Yes, we know this. It's obvious. Okay. Mr. Jeffries, you know, your forehead seems to get bigger every day. Yes, I know. The hairs jump out of my forehead during the day. I hadn't done that in a long time. I've actually got many years ago, I would sit here and, like, every day was super stressful, and I would literally watch them, like, jump out, like it would just fall. Yeah. Rough time. All right. Number 13. This one is not as blatantly obvious, but kind of think about it. What do we notice right here with the Y's? Are they different signs? Could we multiply the bottom to make it be a -3? If we multiply by 3, it could be -3. So it would be elimination. Okay. Now, some of y'all are like, how can you say it's one way when you can use all three? Blatantly obvious at first glance. Like, you look at it for 3 seconds, bam, you go that direction. Okay, that's it. All right. Now, believe it or not, that's our lesson for today. The in-class audience actually has something else to do that we're going to go over tomorrow. All right. If you haven't done so yet, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Stay farce. Good stuff. Good things. Roll Tide.